Today we're talking about the recent Studio McGee home refresh. If you've never heard of Studio McGee, they're a well-known interior design firm founded by husband and wife duo Shay and Sid McGee. They've been in the game for a long time, but they really skyrocketed in popularity after their successful Netflix show called Dream Home Makeover that follows the couple around to different design projects and chronicles their experience. Their aesthetic is characterized by neutral color palettes, clean lines, and natural materials, and they really work to blend timeless elegance with modern functionality. Now, the Netflix series kind of has two components. One component is their contract work designing clients' homes, but the second component is a through line of designing their own dream home. And I think that inviting the public into a deeply personal process gives their audiences a real feeling of intimacy and connection with the couple, which is why everyone got pretty excited when they announced that they've made a couple of renovations and updates to their home. The Netflix series launched in 2020, and now 3 years later, 2023, it's time for just a couple of changes. And we're going to talk about those changes today. Now, if you're interested in reading or watching more about their update from their perspective, I will go ahead and link their blog and corresponding YouTube series in the description below. Let's get into it. We're starting here with this exterior shot of the home. I mean, if this does not just scream Americana, I truly don't know what does. Whether or not you want your home to scream Americana is up to you. But this exterior with this bright white paneling, these sharp, clean lines of the roof, and this perfectly manicured lawn, I think is a literal visual representation of the American dream that we were all sold. A couple of design elements that I think really make the facade of this house work. The first one is the front door. They've chosen an archway, which I think is a really beautiful way to offset and balance the sharp, strong angles and clean lines of this exterior. Also, a part of their recent update was extending and adding a curve to that awning that comes out over the front door. It really does give it some more interest and helps to soften the moment just a little bit. I also love the detail of the raw brick on the side here. I think that really gives it a little bit of extra interest and keeps it from feeling just too sterile and white and clean. Adds a little bit of character. I'm honestly kind of divided on the lawn here. I feel like the bushes along the driveway help to break it up a little bit so it doesn't feel quite so manicured. I think this lawn is beautiful and perfect, and that is not quite the aesthetic I want. I want something a little rougher around the edges. Something to keep in mind is that this photo is edited. This photo is not real life. Yes, it's a beautiful house exterior, but if your house doesn't look like this, which let's be honest, it doesn't, that does not mean that your house isn't good enough. Not only is this a freshly renovated house, but this photo has also been color corrected and framed perfectly to give you the best, most ideal image of what this curb appeal looks like. So resist the urge to compare that to your current reality. They got cracks in the foundation just like everybody else. All right, moving into the entryway. This is a beautiful sight when you first walk in the door. I love the geometric feeling of this staircase and that you can see clearly up both sides, that the rail feels really unobtrusive. And I love the shape of this archway, that it's neither perfectly square nor the kind of classic arch that we're seeing lately. Just that little detail on the corner, adding those corbels in, gives it a really beautiful and unique design. I think the balance of this living room, which we're about to see a little bit more of, really helps serve the space. It's not symmetrical, but it is very balanced. And because it's so simple, it really lets you draw your eye all the way to the back of the house so that the architecture here gets to be the star. A different view of the living room here. I think that this design is just so sweet and simple. I love the detail of these mustard floral pillows getting to be kind of the focal point of this photo, at least. And this brass lamp next to the couch somehow manages to be both weighty and substantial while also feeling really delicate and light. The piece itself is just really beautifully balanced. I kind of wish that there was less styling on the coffee table. I kind of think for me, I would strike everything except that round basket and the things that are inside of it and maybe center that. Or keep it off center, that's fine, I don't mind it. But I think having so much noise on the coffee table is kind of distracting me from really the beauty of the room. We're looking back over the couch into the kitchen. We're seeing just a peek of the island and some beautiful woven stools. And I love these 3 pendants that hang over the island. I think this olive green there's not a lot of color in this house, but really anything that Studio McGee does, this olive green is such an effective use of just a little bit of color. I have a feeling that this was part of the redesign because they, very famously, wants everything bright white, and I imagine has been kind of challenged as that has moved out of trend now, and color is really coming back strong, and we're really favoring kind of dark and moody spaces, really warm and cozy spaces. We're turning away from this kind of bright white, open, airy, and so I think we're going to start to see her kind of layer in some of these trends in a way that still feels very true to her style. So we're seeing that in these pendants and the pillows, that they're neutrals that are just enough of a color, so it's kind of honoring that trend cycle beautiful without taking away from her kind of preferences and signature style. Okay, we're looking at a different view of the same living room. Again, I think this is really beautiful. I love that it's balanced without being necessarily symmetrical. The fireplace is giant and beautiful. And if you watch the Netflix series, then you know how much of a beast that thing was to get in there. I think these two really low profile stools do such a great job to close in and complete the conversation area without blocking off your access to the focal point of the fireplace, or I don't know if it's a TV above the fireplace, but I imagine it could be. So I think that's a really smart layout and a really smart design. And I wonder if it would work in my space. Oh my God, it might kind of work in my space. I have like a large window that the couch faces, but it always just feels kind of like open and incomplete. I might steal this idea. If I do, I'll keep you posted. The one thing I don't really love about this space is the curtains. Window coverings are so tricky, especially for a giant wall of windows like this. But I do kind of wish that it were a more substantial curtain. I wish it were a little more weighty. I mean, I don't know what season this is in. So if this is the spring or summer that we took these photos, which it very well could be, then okay, sure, fine, a white linen, great. But what I want it to be is like an olive green velvet, or like something that just has more weight and texture, so that it's not quite disappearing into the wall. It's really balancing the weight and texture of the space. Does that make sense? I feel like right now it's just kind of getting lost. Okay, let's move into the kitchen. It doesn't seem like they did any major kitchen renovations, but they did update their pantry. But this is, I mean, stunning. This tile is so beautiful because it's reminiscent of a subway tile in shape, but the sheen and the imperfect texture of it really make it sing. It keeps it from feeling sterile. It still feels beautifully classic and traditional while also feeling very modern. And oh my God, the decision to paint these cabinets this dark green. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. The way that everything is working together here, this like pearlescent texture of the tile combined with the dark, beautiful gray green of the cabinets mixed in with the warmth of this dark wood, dark butcher block counter space, contrasted with the bright metallic accents of these mixed woods, the copper. Like, this is just the little plant in the corner. Like, this is just a beautifully styled photo. And oh my God, look at this cabinetry. First of all, to have like a full Butler pantry with a sink and ovens in your pantry is like, I can't even imagine. But this space is a great example of what I'm talking about. As a culture, we're really moving towards these dark, cozy spaces. And this is a great place for her to play with that idea. You know, she's not going to do it in her whole living room because it's not her like natural aesthetic, but doing it in this like little secret alcove of a pantry is such a great way to bring in that style. And this is unquestionably beautiful. Oh my God, the dining room. Okay, so this photo is actually why this video exists, because I saw this on Pinterest and immediately was like, how do I get it? How do I do it? How do I make it work in here? I'm obsessed with this dining room. The thing that grabbed my attention most immediately is, of course, this beautiful wallpaper. It's like neither a floral nor a leaf. It's like a floral inspired leaf pattern that is green, but also a little bit of blue and a little bit of purple, or at least that's how it appears in the photos. And for it to be just around the top of the room, just this kind of like crown moment, again, feels like such a great way for Shay to bring in a current trend. Wallpaper is everywhere right now. I don't think it's really in her design style to do a whole room of wallpaper. So the fact that this room is mostly windows and we're just getting this peak around the ceiling, such a great way to do it. I think it's so beautiful. It draws the eyes up to this beautiful pendant light hanging from the ceiling. The gold of that with all of these natural textures is such a nice moment. Because it has these big open windows, this room feels giant and open. And so bringing that wallpaper in just around the top of the windows gives it a little bit of weight and closing in that makes it feel cozier and warmer. And can we talk about these chairs? First of all, this table is absolutely beautiful. I love the angles on the corners. I love the tone of wood, but these chairs are truly so delicious. Having like a proper lounge chair at the head of the table is such goals for me. I love sitting around the dining room table and sharing a meal with people I love. So to have a chair this comfortable where I really could just like sit for hours after dinner is over and talk and be with people I love is so good. And I'm absolutely obsessed with these wicker chairs. And I'm not really a wicker guy, but like these are stunning. I think they're unexpected. I think they're surprising. I think they're absolutely delightful. They manage to be both very clean and very ornate. I think that this room as a whole has a really beautiful balance. This olive tree in the corner, I think it's an olive tree. This tree in the corner kind of inviting the outside in, which also so does the wallpaper, and just a little touch of styling on the dining room table. Like this room, this is it for me. I'm gonna scream about this dining room for the rest of my life. I think the pairing of the captain's chairs with the rest of the dining chairs is so beautiful, so balanced. It's, you know, and even the ones that aren't the captain's chairs also look very comfortable and they have a really delicious cushion on there. I'm just trying to sit at the dining room table and talk to you for like 3 hours and the jute rug underfoot. Like it's just literally, it's all so good. I don't even want to move on because I just want to keep staring at this photo. So good. It's not very often that I see a space and I'm like, yes, that 100% that wouldn't change a single thing and want it in my house. Like I want to live in that. Like that's very rare for me. And so the fact that that's how I feel about this, I mean, it's delicious. I would put a different bowl on the table. Okay, we found it. Okay, and now we're moving into the primary suite. I think this is good. I think it's great. It's not quite my taste, but I think that again, I think they've swapped out the bed for something a little darker, a little moodier, a little softer. You know, this velvet kind of texture is very of the moment. And I think that was a good choice. It kind of adds some grounding and some weight to the room. I don't love the settee at the foot of the bed. I think that sometimes it works. This one I'm not a huge fan of. I think it's, you know, where it's beautiful is in Hotel 1928, which is the hotel that Joanna Gaines just redesigned, which we're going to react to in an upcoming video. So like, subscribe, ring the bell if you want to see that. But this, yeah, it's fine. Like it's fine. I think it's a nice room. I wouldn't be like offended if I walked into it and, you know, had to sleep there. I think the bed is nice. I really like the sconces. I think overall it's just like, yeah, okay, it's a room. Sure. But I don't love like chairs in the bedroom. And I also understand like when you have kids, you need a place that you can sit and have a conversation that maybe isn't like any of the main rooms. So, okay, I get that. I get that. But yeah, I think this is fine. I don't think it's anything to write home about. I do think the rug is beautiful. I like the little pops of plaid. Yeah, I think it's fine. The lamps feel a little home goods to me, but like, you know, home goods is cute sometimes. So yeah, this is fine. Sure, it's a bedroom. Do I just not like bedrooms? I really liked Kendall Jenner's house, except when we got to her primary suite, I think I just called it uninspired. I'll link it above and below if you want to watch me not care about her bedroom. Okay, and that's it. Short and sweet. Overall, I think there's some really dope things in this refresh. I love to see getting the ways that Shea is incorporating trends into her current design style that is very, you know, not those trends. If you like reaction videos like this, I've got a whole playlist of them waiting for you. Or if you're looking for home decor inspiration, check out this video that I think you're really gonna love.